RWBY Chibi episode 7. Really enjoyed this one. Considering I was late with the last one, watching these two episodes back to back. I think I liked the last one a little bit more, but this one definitely had me laughing really hard, especially the Weiss one when I first watched it, when she freezes the water and it knocks RWBY like completely out and they do the X's and stuff and like her tongue sticks out. So as far as that happens, I think maybe I did like this one more because it gave me a harder laugh, but I really like a lot of the skits. Like I pretty much liked everything from the last episode, and this one, that one got me got a big laugh, and so did the ending sequence as well. So I got like two big laughs, and the others were kind of okay because it was kind of like they were long jokes because we only had like technically one short skit, which is when Yang, Nora, and Ren are kicked out of the arcade, where we get to see the old guy. I mentioned that a couple episodes back. I was like, I kind of want to see the old guy because he shows up in at random through the normal series. I kind of want to see him in Chibi form. So we got to see him. It was like a split second, and he's just like, and then he does the angry old fist, and then he goes back. But we got to see him, so I was like, oh, that's awesome. We got to see the random old guy. He's like the cabbage dude from Avatar, so it was cool. But I did enjoy this episode for sure. I thought it was really cool. We got to see Team Juniper again at the very beginning, which was cool. A lot of Jaune stuff in this once again, or at least a nice focus on him with the opening and the ending scene. But I enjoyed that. It was really silly, like when he sees all the weapons. My favorite thing was that RWBY left not only the scythe, but like the unfolded version of it. Like it wasn't like, oh, it's it's folded down and it's like nearly rectangular form. It's just open, wide open. Who knows how much that weighs? And it's like let's just hang this nice curved piece of blade right on this wood, which they have like their little propped up bunk beds and everything, and it's just like you bump into that and it just goes and just slices the thing off. But I just thought that was funny. It's like it's just hanging off this wood panel, this like giant metal scythe. It's just hanging off of the the wood bunk bed. So I thought that was really funny, just how that even looked. But I like the way they did that with the ending sequence and how it came back. And Jaune's just going around because he's jealous about his sword and stuff, which they make look super funny in this because with it being the Chibi version, it looks so tiny. It's like it looks like he's holding onto a pen to me because everything's just so small. So it just looked really funny. It's like it looks like he is really just holding onto a pen, and then he's using everybody's weapons and stuff. And they have the katana joke in there. They have it twice technically because they have RWBY saying it, but she gets cut off in the middle because the bucket knocks her out and she gets concussed. And then Jaune actually completely says it at the end, like, now that's a katana, before he actually throws it, which they have a cool little thing I didn't notice. I watched it twice and I didn't notice it the first time. But when he throws Blake's katana, the actual, like the bandages on the bottom of the hilt actually are on the ground, and he actually kind of like reels them back in off screen. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't actually notice that when he threw it. Like the bandages were like kind of floating behind it. So I thought that was actually kind of cool when I saw that the second time. But I really enjoyed the ending sequence, and he's just playing around, and he does the spin with RWBY's scythe, and he of course like spirals out of control, and he's flying back and forth, and then he gets busted at the end with the dancing. And I was trying to figure out if he was humming one of the songs, and I feel like he was, but I couldn't tell which song it was. So it's either a newer song or he was just humming it at such a different pace that I couldn't actually figure it out. So because I was listening to it, I was like, I feel like it's one of the songs, but I just couldn't tell which one it was, and I didn't see anything in the comments either. So I don't know, it might not have been, but I felt like, mostly because generally if there's any song played in the show, it's one of the actual songs, it's just done in a different way. So that's why I was trying to listen to see what song it might be, and I just couldn't figure out what it was based on what I was hearing. So still might have been, but it might not have been, I don't really know. But when he gets busted, that was really funny, and everyone's just staring at him. And instead of being super embarrassed, he's just like, don't be jealous, and then it just goes off. And I really loved that. I thought that was really funny. But I enjoyed that. I like Nora's random moment when they all get thrown out of the arcade and stuff, and she's really mad at the guy, and it's like she wants her giant teddy bear, and she gets it. And I love the way they did that because it's like Nora, Yang, and then Ren, and so Nora stands up, and they're just like passed out on her head, and it works because her head's so big. It's like they're just laying down on a bed or something. And then when he throws the bear, it just replaces them, they get shot off screen, and the bear's just on their head. She's like, thanks. And every step she takes is just like a little squeak, and they leave the weapons and everything. It was just really silly, but I really enjoyed that scene. And like I said, the biggest laugh I got was definitely Weiss being mad at them for dumping the bucket of ice water on her head. And so she gets mad and it skips to the next day. And as soon as I saw that little ray, I'm like, it's just going to be solid ice. And that's not going to be simple. And it just knocks it straight. And I just love the way they did it. It was like, boom, and they do the X's and the tongue out. And Blake and Yang basically run in on like super speed to help her. I was like, I'm pretty sure she's concussed. And it's like, she's pranked. That's what she is. So I love that scene. That was probably my favorite just because it made me laugh so hard when it first happened. Like, I didn't expect it to, like, the animation is what really got me because I knew what was going to happen. And I thought she would just, like, fall or something or be, like, really hurt. But she just, like, X's and just, she was done. So I really loved that. Overall, definitely enjoyed the episode. Glad to see we got, our old guy in there because I mentioned that before. I was like, I really, out of the characters that we get, he's actually one of the characters I wanted to see in Chibi form just because he's the guy that shows up all the time at random. So I was like, I want to see him, in the show. So excited that we got to see him. I was happy for that, even if it was like, a split second. It was just like, kicking them out, angry, old guy fist. And then, he's done. But really enjoyed this episode. That was definitely funny. Of course, definitely want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. I'm sure episode 8 is already out by now. But if you haven't already seen that, definitely want to know where you want to see them go from here. Because we've had 7 episodes so far, technically 8, because I'm sure 8 is already out. So we've had 2 months of this already, and at this point, I'd say it's going pretty well. I'm enjoying it. I think it's gotten better, because the first episode, I thought, it's funny and it's kind of enjoyable. But after that, I think it actually got better, and there's certain skits, like the stuff with Blake and Zwei. That's like a recurring thing that we've had. We didn't have it in this episode, but, they have, at least something with both of them together. They've had mostly. Since they kind of started that. So I've enjoyed that, and they've had other, little things that happen, like it'll happen in 2, and then it'll happen in like 6 or something like that. So little things keep coming back as well, and like they got the silly Katana joke, which of course is like a penis joke, so that keeps coming up. But I like it. I think it's really picked up from that very first episode. I think it's definitely picked up. I've had some big laughs with it. I think my favorite skit is still the one with RWBY and Weiss when they have like their duel, and Zwei is like just a piece of tumbleweed and he's just bouncing on the ground. That was just the funniest thing in the world to me because I was not expecting them to do that. So that's still like my favorite skit. But I want to know, how are you guys feeling about the show at this point, basically 2 months into it. How are you guys feeling about the show? I would love to know what your favorite skit has been throughout all the episodes we've had so far. Even if if you've seen episode 8, just put spoilers, and then that way people can check it out afterwards or something. But we'd love to know what your favorite skit has been so far. Mine, solely for Zwei, just bouncing, that's my favorite one. Outside of that, it's probably the Zwei stuff as well, Zwei and Blake. I think the Frieza one, if I had to pick one between the two of them, as much as I like the one from the last episode where they're both scared of Weiss that she vacuumed. I don't know why, but Blake in that freezer really surprised me because I just thought she'd be in the refrigerator, and that seemed simpler to me. But when she was like just frozen in the freezer, it just made it funnier for some reason. So number 1 is like Tumbles Zwei, and number 2 is Frozen Blake. But want to know your favorite skits that we've had so far, and what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.